The next morning, the sun rose over the neighborhood, casting golden light on the playground where Lena had felt scared just a few days ago. Lena sat at the breakfast table with her mother, Mariah, sipping her juice. Her small hands rested on the cup and her heart felt both nervous and excited. Today was the day she would return to the playground with courage and confidence. Mariah smiled warmly at her daughter. "Are you ready, Lena?" she asked. "Remember, you are brave, strong, and never alone. You have the words, the calm, and the courage inside you." Lena nodded, taking a deep breath. "I am ready, Mama," she said, her voice steady. "I think I can do it today." After breakfast, Mariah held Lena's hand as they walked to school. The playground stretched ahead, bright and busy with children laughing and running. Lena's stomach fluttered, but she remembered her mother's advice. She pictured herself as the tall, strong tree she had imagined the day before. She felt her roots in the ground and her branches reaching high. When they reached the playground, Lena noticed the older children from before. They were near the sandbox, talking and laughing. Lena's heart skipped a beat, but she did not let fear take over. She held her mother's hand tightly and focused on her breathing, inhaling slowly and exhaling. Mariah knelt down beside her. "Remember, baby, you are safe. You can use your words if anyone tries to be unkind. You are prepared. You are brave." Lena took a deep breath and smiled faintly. She felt a small spark of courage growing stronger with each heartbeat. She was ready to face the playground again. As soon as the bell rang for recess, Lena walked toward the swings. The older children noticed her, and one of them stepped forward, raising an eyebrow. "Hey, Lena," he said. "Where are you going with that backpack?" Lena stopped, her heart racing for a moment. Then she remembered her mother's words and the practice they had done. She squared her shoulders and spoke clearly. "Stop. I do not like that," she said firmly. The older child blinked, surprised. Lena's voice was strong and her confident stance made him hesitate. She continued, "I am going to play on the swings and I do not want anyone to bother me." Mariah, standing a little distance away, watched with pride. She saw Lena using her words and staying calm. Lena's heart was beating fast, but she felt proud of herself for standing up without fear. One of the older children tried to nudge her, but Lena remembered her calm tree. She took another deep breath and stepped aside, moving quickly to a teacher who was nearby. "Excuse me, teacher," Lena said politely. "I need help, please." The teacher immediately stepped in, asking the older children to step back. They did so, surprised at how confident Lena had become. Lena felt a sense of relief and accomplishment. She had faced her fear, used her words, and asked for help when needed. The rest of the recess passed smoothly. Lena played with her friends, laughing and swinging high into the sky. She realized that the playground was not as scary as she had thought. The spark of courage inside her had grown into a small flame, giving her confidence and joy. When the bell rang to return to class, Lena ran to Mariah, who was waiting outside the school gate. "Mama, I did it!" Lena exclaimed, her eyes shining. "I used my words and I didn't let them scare me. And I found a teacher." Mariah hugged her tightly. "I knew you could, baby. I am so proud of you. You were brave, strong, and smart. You handled the playground perfectly." Lena beamed. She felt a warm glow of pride and happiness inside. She realized that courage was not about never feeling fear. It was about facing fear with the right tools, staying calm and asking for help when needed. That evening, Lena and Mariah sat together at the kitchen table talking about the day. Lena shared everything that had happened, from the moment she saw the older children to the moment she asked the teacher for help. Mariah listened carefully, nodding and smiling. "You see, Lena," Mariah said, "being brave is not about being mean or loud. It is about trusting yourself, using your words, staying calm, and seeking help when needed. You did all of that today, and I am very proud of you." Lena thought about her day. She remembered the feeling of fear when she first saw the older children, the tightness in her chest and the flutter in her stomach. But she also remembered the calm tree, the strong words, and her mother's guidance. She realized that she had grown stronger and more confident. "I feel proud, Mama," Lena said. "I feel like I can handle other scary things too." Mariah smiled warmly. "That's wonderful, baby. Courage grows when we practice. Every time you face a challenge, you grow stronger. And you always have me with you to guide and protect you." Over the next few days, Lena's confidence continued to grow. She played on the playground without fear, spoke up when needed, and helped other children who seemed nervous or scared. Her mother noticed that Lena had not only learned courage but also kindness and empathy. Lena realized that helping others could make her feel even braver and happier. One afternoon, Lena spotted a younger child sitting alone on the swings, looking sad. Lena walked over and said gently, "Hi, my name is Lena. Do you want to play together?" The child's face brightened and they nodded. Lena helped the child swing, making sure they felt safe and included. Her heart felt warm and proud. She understood that courage was not just about standing up for herself, but also about helping others feel safe and confident. Mariah watched from a distance, her eyes filled with love and pride. She saw Lena using the lessons they had practiced together and growing into a kind, strong, and brave girl. Mariah knew that these experiences would help Lena face any challenge that came her way. That evening, Lena hugged her mother tightly. "Mama, I am glad you taught me how to be brave. I feel like I can do anything now." Mariah kissed her forehead. "I'm glad too, baby. Remember, courage is a journey. You will face many challenges, but with your words, your calm, and your heart, you can handle them all. And I will always be here to help you." Lena smiled, feeling safe and loved. She realized that the playground, which had once seemed frightening, was now a place of fun, friendship, and confidence. She had faced her fear, learned important lessons, and discovered the strength inside her. As she lay in bed that night, Lena hugged her stuffed bunny and thought about the day. She felt proud of herself and excited for the days ahead. She knew that challenges would come, but she also knew that she had the courage, the tools, and her mother's love to face anything. The world was full of surprises, Lena realized, but now she felt ready. She had learned that bravery was not about never being afraid. It was about trusting herself, using her words, staying calm, and seeking support when needed. With these lessons in her heart, she knew she could face any challenge with confidence and love. And with her mother by her side, Lena felt ready to grow stronger every day, facing each new adventure with a brave heart and a happy smile. The sun shone brightly over the small neighborhood park, where children's laughter filled the air. Lena, a cheerful 8-year-old girl with bright eyes and curly hair tied in 2 neat ponytails, skipped across the playground. Her backpack bounced with every step as she hurried to meet her friends near the swings. Today was an exciting day because Lena had finished her art project at school, and she wanted to show it to everyone. As she ran, she noticed a group of older children gathered near the sandbox. They were taller and louder than her usual friends. Lena felt a little nervous but reminded herself that she could handle anything. She tightened her grip on her backpack and tried to walk past them quietly. But suddenly one of the older children reached out and grabbed the strap of her backpack. Lena stumbled, dropping her art project onto the sand. Her colorful drawing, full of bright flowers and smiling people, was now covered with tiny grains of sand. "Hey, what are you doing?" Lena said, her voice trembling. The older child laughed loudly. "Just having fun," he said. Lena's face flushed. She felt a mix of fear and frustration. She tried to pull her backpack free, but it was too heavy for her small hands. A few other older kids joined in, surrounding Lena. They nudged her gently at first, but their teasing words made her heart pound. "Your drawing is silly," one said. "Why are you carrying that thing around?" Another added. Lena's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to explain, to tell them that her drawing was important to her, but the words got stuck in her throat. She took a deep breath and tried to push past them, hoping to reach the swings where her friends were waiting. But the older children blocked her way. They laughed and whispered among themselves. Lena felt trapped. Her small frame seemed even smaller against the taller, louder children. Panic rose in her chest and she realized she could not get past them alone. Just then a teacher walked nearby, noticing the commotion. Lena waved her arms, calling for help, but the older children saw her and ran off laughing before the teacher could reach her. Lena felt a wave of relief mixed with sadness. She had wanted to show her drawing, and now it was ruined. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she ran toward the edge of the playground. Her tiny legs moved as fast as they could, carrying her away from the crowd. She could feel her heart racing, her chest tightening with fear. All she wanted was comfort, someone to hold her and tell her that everything would be okay. At the corner of the playground, near the entrance, Lena saw her mother, Mariah, who had just arrived to pick her up from school. Mariah was a kind woman with a warm smile and gentle eyes. She noticed Lena running toward her, her little body shaking with fear. "Lena!" Mariah called, her voice full of concern. She dropped the shopping bag she was carrying and rushed to her daughter. As Lena reached her, she collapsed into Mariah's arms, crying loudly. "They're hurting me, Mama," she sobbed. Her tiny hands clutched her mother's shirt, trembling uncontrollably. Mariah held her close, feeling the shivers run through her little girl. She brushed Lena's hair back gently and spoke softly. "It's okay, my love. Mama is here. You're safe now." Lena buried her face into her mother's chest. "They were being mean," she said, her voice muffled by tears. "They pushed me and laughed at me. My drawing, it's ruined." Mariah's heart ached as she listened to her daughter. She could see the sadness in Lena's eyes, the disappointment and fear. Mariah knew that her first job was to calm her daughter and make her feel safe before talking about what had happened. "You're safe now, Lena," Mariah said, rocking her gently. "Mama will take care of everything. Let's take some deep breaths together, okay?" Lena nodded, sniffing and wiping her tears with the back of her hand. Together they inhaled slowly, counting to 5, and then exhaled. Mariah repeated the process, showing Lena how to let go of some of the fear that had built up in her small body. After a few moments, Lena's sobs quieted. She still felt upset, but she began to feel the comfort of her mother's presence. Mariah smiled, brushing her daughter's hair again. "You did the right thing by coming to me," she said. "That is very brave, Lena." Lena looked up at her mother, her eyes still glistening with tears. "But Mama, why were they so mean? I didn't do anything to them." Mariah took a deep breath, thinking carefully about how to explain. "Sometimes people make choices that are not kind," she said. "It is never because of you. It is about them. Some children forget how to be kind, and they make others feel sad or scared. But we can handle it together, and I will teach you how to stay strong." Lena felt a small sense of relief. She realized that her mother was not angry at her, and that made her feel safer. "Will they do it again?" she asked quietly. Mariah shook her head gently. "I hope not. But even if it happens, you now know that Mama is here and we can make a plan. We will learn how to protect ourselves in a safe way, and how to speak up when something is not right." For the next few minutes, they walked slowly to a quiet spot near the park bench. Mariah held Lena's hand firmly, letting her know that she was not alone. "Do you want to tell me exactly what happened?" Mariah asked. Lena nodded, taking a deep breath. She explained how the older children had teased her, pushed her, and ruined her drawing. Mariah listened carefully, nodding, never interrupting. She wanted Lena to feel heard, to understand that her feelings were valid. "It's okay to feel upset," Mariah said softly. "Your feelings are important, and it's normal to cry when something like this happens. But now we will think about what to do next time. We can practice being brave together." Lena looked at her mother, a tiny spark of hope appearing in her eyes. She felt that maybe, just maybe, she could face the playground again without feeling so scared. Mariah smiled. "Tomorrow we will practice how to stand up for yourself. We will learn words to use when someone is not being kind. And we will also talk about finding adults to help if you need it." "You are never alone, Lena." Lena hugged her mother tightly, feeling safe and loved. For the first time since the incident, she felt a little bit of courage growing inside her. She realized that even though she had been hurt, she was not weak. She had a mother who loved her, who would guide her, and who would always be by her side. The sun continued to shine over the park, and children's laughter carried in the distance. Lena wiped her tears and looked around. The playground did not seem so scary anymore. She had faced something difficult today, but with her mother's love, she felt that she could face it again if needed. As they walked home hand in hand, Mariah and Lena talked about happy things, Lena's art, her favorite stories, and the games she wanted to play the next day. Little by little, Lena's fear melted away, replaced by the warmth of her mother's presence and the knowledge that she was never truly alone. By the time they reached home, Lena felt lighter. She knew the playground would still have challenges, but she also knew she had the tools to face them. And most importantly, she knew that no matter what happened, her mother's love would always be there to guide her and protect her. The next morning, the sunlight streamed through Lena's bedroom window. Birds chirped happily outside, and the soft rustle of leaves filled the air. Lena sat on her bed, hugging her favorite stuffed bunny. Even though she had felt a little better the day before, a small cloud of worry still lingered in her heart. Her mother, Mariah, knocked gently on the door and stepped inside. She smiled warmly. "Good morning, baby," she said. Did you sleep well? Lena nodded quietly, her small fingers clutching the bunny's soft ears. I did, Mama, she whispered. But I still feel a little scared about going to school today. Mariah sat on the edge of the bed and wrapped her arms around her daughter. I understand, my love. Yesterday was hard, but remember, we can face challenges together. You are stronger than you think. Lena looked into her mother's eyes and saw kindness and confidence. Mariah's presence always made her feel safe. Mama, why were they so mean? Lena asked softly. Mariah took a deep breath, thinking carefully about how to explain it to her 8-year-old. Sometimes people act unkindly because they are feeling something inside that they cannot explain. Maybe they are unhappy, or maybe they want attention. It is not because of you, Lena. You did nothing wrong. They just made a bad choice. Lena thought about this. She liked to believe that people were usually kind, but yesterday had shown her that was not always true. But Mama, it hurt me, she said. Her voice was small but honest. Mariah nodded. I know it did, baby. And it is okay to feel hurt. Feeling your feelings is important. When something like this happens, it is normal to feel sad or scared. The important thing is to know how to handle it safely. Lena hugged her bunny tighter. How can I handle it, Mama? She asked. Mariah smiled. We will make a plan together. First, we will think about what you can do if someone is unkind. We will practice using words that are strong and confident. Words can be very powerful, Lena. They can help you protect yourself without getting hurt. Lena's eyes lit up a little. She liked the idea of using words to be strong. Like telling them to stop. She asked. Exactly, Mariah said. You can say, stop, I do not like that, or please leave me alone. You can also find a teacher or another adult nearby if you feel unsafe. We will practice it together. After breakfast, Mariah brought out a notebook and some colored pencils. Let's make a plan, my brave girl, she said. We will draw and write things that can help you remember what to do. Lena's eyes sparkled with curiosity. She loved drawing, and she liked the idea of making a plan in a fun way. Together they sat at the kitchen table, spreading out colored pencils and paper. First, Mariah said, let's draw our feelings. Can you draw how you felt yesterday when the older children were mean? Lena picked up a red pencil and drew a small stick figure with tears streaming down her face. She added scribbles around it to show that she felt trapped and scared. Very good, Lena, Mariah said, nodding. Now let's draw a picture of how you want to feel next time. Maybe strong, safe, and happy. Lena switched to a bright yellow pencil and drew herself standing tall, smiling with the sun shining above her. She even drew her mother beside her, holding her hand. That is perfect, baby, Mariah said, her voice warm. You can look at this picture whenever you feel scared. It will remind you that you are brave and loved. Next, Mariah asked Lena to write some words she could say if someone tried to be unkind. Lena thought for a moment. Then she wrote, Stop, I do not like that. Please leave me alone. I am going to find a teacher. Mariah nodded approvingly. These are excellent, Lena. You see, words are a kind of magic. They can protect you and help you stay safe. And you always have me with you. Lena felt a warm glow inside. She realized that she was not powerless. Even though the playground could be scary, she now had tools to face it. Mariah smiled. Now we will practice using these words, she said. She pretended to be one of the older children, gently nudging Lena with her hand. What do you say, Lena? Stop, I do not like that. Lena said loudly, feeling her voice grow stronger. That's perfect, Mariah said. Now, if someone keeps being unkind, you can walk away and find an adult. You can do it, Lena practiced several times. Each time she felt a little braver. By the end of the exercise, she was smiling and giggling. I think I can do it, Mama, she said proudly. Mariah hugged her tightly. I know you can, baby. Courage grows when we practice. You are already very brave, Lena. Later that day, as Lena walked to school, she held her mother's hand. The neighborhood felt bright and cheerful, but Lena's heart still beat a little faster than usual. She remembered her mother's advice and the words she had practiced. When she reached the school gate, she saw the familiar playground, and a small flutter of nervousness appeared in her chest. She spotted the same group of older children from yesterday, playing near the sandbox. Lena stopped for a moment, taking a deep breath. She whispered quietly to herself, I am brave. I can handle this. During class, Lena focused on her work, but she kept thinking about what had happened yesterday. She realized that fear was normal, but it didn't have to control her. She could use her words, find help when needed, and remember that her mother loved her. At recess, Lena saw the older children again. She felt her stomach tighten, but she remembered her plan. She walked past them confidently, holding her head high. One of the older children tried to block her path, but Lena took a deep breath and said clearly, "Stop. I do not like that." The older child paused, surprised by Lena's confidence. Lena smiled slightly and then walked quickly to a teacher nearby. The teacher noticed her and asked if she needed help. Lena nodded, feeling proud of herself. After recess, Lena ran into her mother's arms. "Mama, I did it," she said, her eyes shining. "I used my words and I didn't let them scare me." Mariah hugged her tightly, her heart swelling with pride. "I knew you could, baby. You were very brave and smart. You handled it perfectly." That evening, as they sat together at home, Mariah and Lena talked about the day. Lena shared how she had used her words and how it felt to ask for help. Mariah listened carefully, nodding and praising her daughter's courage. "You see, Lena," Mariah said, "being brave does not mean fighting or being mean back. Being brave means using your words, staying safe, and asking for help when needed. You did all of that today, and I am very proud of you." Lena smiled, feeling stronger inside. She realized that fear could be managed and that she had the power to protect herself. With her mother's guidance and her own courage, she knew she could face challenges and grow stronger every day. That night, as Lena lay in bed, she hugged her stuffed bunny and thought about her bright yellow drawing of herself standing tall in the sun. She felt a little spark of courage inside her heart, knowing that tomorrow she could be even braver. And she knew without a doubt that her mother would always be there, guiding her and protecting her from anything that made her feel small or afraid. The world was not always easy, Lena realized, but with love, courage, and a little practice, she could face it with a brave heart. The morning sunlight poured gently through Lena's bedroom window, and she stretched her arms wide as if to gather all the light into herself. Today felt different. Yesterday had been difficult, but with her mother's guidance, Lena felt a small spark of courage growing inside her. She had learned that fear could be faced and that she did not have to face it alone. Her mother, Mariah, entered the room carrying a tray with 2 glasses of juice. She placed it on the small table by Lena's bed. "Good morning, my brave girl," she said, smiling warmly. "Are you ready for a special practice today?" Lena nodded eagerly. She loved learning from her mother, and the idea of a special practice made her curious. "What kind of practice, Mama?" she asked. Mariah sat down beside her and took her hand. "Today we will practice being brave and confident. We will use our words, our actions, and our imagination. Being brave is not about being loud or mean. It is about feeling strong inside even when things seem scary." Lena listened carefully, her eyes wide. "But how do I feel strong, Mama?" she asked softly. "First," Mariah said, "we imagine ourselves as a tall, strong tree. Roots go deep into the ground, keeping us steady, and branches reach up to the sky. Even if the wind blows hard, the tree stands tall. You are like that tree, Lena. Even if someone is unkind, you can stand strong and safe." Lena closed her eyes and pictured herself as the tree Mariah described. She imagined her roots deep in the ground and her branches stretching high. She could feel her heart slowing and a calm energy spreading through her body. "I am like a tree," she whispered. "That's right," Mariah said. "And just like a tree, you have the power to stay strong without hurting anyone. You can use words to protect yourself, and you can ask for help from someone you trust." They spent the morning practicing. Mariah gently pretended to be someone who was being unkind, nudging Lena or pretending to grab her backpack. Each time, Lena practiced the words her mother had taught her. "Stop. I do not like that," or "Please leave me alone." At first, Lena's voice was quiet and shy. But with each practice, it grew stronger and more confident. She could feel the courage building inside her, like a small fire that grew brighter with each repetition. After several rounds, Mariah smiled proudly. "You see, Lena? Every time you use your words, you grow stronger. You don't have to be afraid, because you are learning how to handle these situations. Your courage is growing every day." Lena beamed, her eyes sparkling. "I feel strong, Mama. I think I can do it for real now," she said. Mariah nodded. "Yes, baby. And there's one more thing we will practice. Staying calm when someone surprises or scares us. Sometimes when we feel sudden fear, our bodies get tense. But if we breathe slowly and remember our tree, we can stay calm and make good choices." They practiced slow breathing together, inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 4. Lena imagined herself as the strong tree, feeling the ground steady beneath her feet. Each time she practiced, she felt less afraid and more in control of her feelings. By afternoon, they moved the practice outside. Mariah held Lena's hand as they walked to the quiet area of the park near their home. "Now we will practice courage in the real world," Mariah said gently. "We will pretend the playground is the same as yesterday, but this time you are prepared." Lena's small heart beat faster, but she remembered the strength inside her. She imagined her roots deep in the ground and her branches reaching high. Mariah stood beside her, smiling, and Lena felt safe. Mariah pretended to be a group of children who were being unkind. She gently nudged Lena and laughed playfully. Lena's first reaction was to feel scared, but she remembered the words she had practiced. "Stop. I do not like that," she said clearly, her voice growing stronger with each repetition. Mariah nodded encouragingly. "Excellent, Lena. You are using your words and staying calm. That is very brave." They practiced several more times with Lena using her words, moving to a safe place and finding her mother whenever she felt unsure. Each practice made her more confident. She realized that being brave was not just about standing up to others. It was about trusting herself and knowing that she had support. After their outdoor practice, Mariah and Lena sat on a bench sipping juice and laughing. "Mama, I feel different now," Lena said. "I feel like I can handle the playground and other scary things too." Mariah smiled warmly. "That's wonderful, baby. Courage grows with practice. Every time you use your words and make safe choices, you grow stronger. And the more you practice, the more confident you will become." Lena thought about yesterday, about the older children who had teased her, and she realized something important. She did not have to be afraid anymore. She had tools to handle unkindness, and she had her mother's guidance to remind her that she was never alone. "Can we practice every day, Mama?" Lena asked, her voice hopeful. "Of course, baby," Mariah replied. "Courage is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. We can practice words, calm breathing, and even imagining ourselves as trees whenever you want. You are already very brave, and it will keep growing." They spent the rest of the afternoon drawing and writing in Lena's notebook. Lena wrote about the feelings she had yesterday, the words she could say to protect herself, and how she imagined herself as a strong tree. She also added a section about the happy and safe feelings she wanted to feel. By the time the sun began to set, Lena felt proud of herself. She realized that courage was not about never being scared. It was about facing fear with the right tools and support. She felt a warm glow of confidence in her chest, knowing that she could handle challenges at school, at the park, or anywhere else. That evening, Mariah tucked Lena into bed. "Remember, my brave girl," she said softly, brushing Lena's hair from her face. "Being brave is not about fighting. It is about using your words, staying safe, and trusting yourself. You are already learning that, and I am so proud of you." Lena hugged her stuffed bunny tightly. "I feel brave, Mama. I think I can face the playground again tomorrow." Mariah smiled and kissed her forehead. "I know you can, baby. And no matter what happens, I will always be here to guide you and keep you safe. You are never alone, Lena." Lena closed her eyes, imagining herself as the tall, strong tree with her roots deep in the ground and her branches reaching high. She felt her mother's love surrounding her like a warm blanket, giving her strength and courage. As she drifted off to sleep, Lena thought about tomorrow and the playground. She was no longer afraid. She knew that challenges could be faced with words, calmness, and courage. And she knew that her mother's love would always help her grow stronger. The world was full of surprises, Lena realized, but now she felt ready to face them. She had learned that courage was not something you were born with. It was something you could practice, something that grew inside you each day. And with her mother by her side, she could become as brave as the tall, strong tree she imagined herself to be. The days after the playground incident were full of small victories for Lena. Every morning she woke up with a spark of confidence and a smile on her face. She remembered the lessons her mother had taught her, about using her words, staying calm, and trusting herself. More than anything, she remembered that her mother, Mariah, was always there to guide and protect her. One sunny afternoon, Lena and Mariah walked to the park together. The playground was alive with children laughing, running, and playing games. Lena's heart fluttered with excitement. Today she felt ready to explore every corner of the playground, from the swings to the slide, and even the sandbox where she had been teased. Are you ready for an adventure, my brave girl? Mariah asked, smiling warmly. Lena nodded, her eyes sparkling. I am ready, Mama. I feel strong today. Mariah held her hand as they walked through the gate. Lena noticed the older children from before. They were playing nearby, but instead of feeling scared, Lena felt calm. She remembered her breathing exercises and the image of her strong tree. She squared her shoulders and walked confidently past them. One of the older children stepped forward. Hey, Lena, he said, you're back. Are you going to play too? Lena took a deep breath and replied politely, Yes, I am going to play. Please leave me alone if you do not want to join me. The older child looked surprised at her confident tone but nodded. Okay, he said, stepping aside. Lena smiled faintly and walked toward the swings where her friends were already waiting. Mariah watched from a distance, feeling proud and happy. She could see Lena using the lessons they had practiced together. The fear that had once made her small and quiet was now replaced with courage and confidence. Lena's actions showed that she had grown stronger. As Lena swung higher and higher, she felt the wind on her face and the joy of movement. She laughed freely, her small body full of energy and happiness. For the first time, the playground felt like a place of fun and adventure rather than fear. After swinging for a while, Lena noticed a younger child sitting alone on a bench. The child looked sad and unsure. Lena remembered how her mother had taught her that courage was not only about standing up for herself, but also about helping others feel safe. She walked over and said gently, Hi, my name is Lena. Do you want to play together? The child's face brightened and a shy smile appeared. They nodded and Lena took their hand, leading them to the swings. Hold on tight, Lena said. I will push you gently and we will have fun together. As they played, Lena felt a warm glow in her heart. Helping someone else feel safe made her feel even braver. She realized that courage and kindness could grow together, making her feel proud of herself. Later, Mariah called Lena over. I am very proud of you, baby, she said, hugging her tightly. You have shown bravery, kindness, and confidence. You are growing stronger every day, and it makes my heart so happy to see you shine. Lena smiled, her eyes shining. Mama, I feel strong now. I can face anything with your help and my courage. Mariah nodded. That's right, baby. Life will sometimes have challenges, but you have learned the most important lesson. You can handle them with words, calm, and bravery. And remember, I will always be here to guide and support you. That evening, Lena sat at the kitchen table drawing in her notebook. She drew a picture of the playground, the swings, the sandbox, and herself standing tall like the strong tree she imagined. She even drew the younger child she had helped smiling beside her. This is my brave day, Lena said softly, showing her drawing to her mother. I faced my fear, helped someone, and felt strong. Mariah smiled warmly. Yes, baby. Today was a very special day. You not only faced your fear, but you also showed courage through kindness. That is the true meaning of being brave. Lena's small face glowed with pride. She realized that bravery was not about fighting or being mean. It was about trusting herself, using her words, staying calm, and showing kindness. And she knew that these lessons would stay with her forever. The next morning, Lena woke up feeling excited. She dressed quickly and ate her breakfast, thinking about the adventures she could have at school and in the park. She remembered the older children, the swings, and the sandbox, but instead of fear, she felt confidence. When she arrived at the playground, Lena saw a group of children trying to include a shy new student. Lena smiled and walked over. Do you want to play with us? She asked kindly. The new child nodded, looking relieved. Lena held their hand and led them to the swings, showing them how to play and laugh together. As she did this, Lena felt proud and happy. She realized that courage was not just about facing challenges alone, it was also about helping others feel safe and confident. After school, Lena ran to her mother. Mama, today was wonderful. I helped someone new and we had so much fun together, she exclaimed. Mariah hugged her tightly. I am so proud of you, baby. You are learning to face challenges, use your courage, and be kind. These are the qualities of a strong and happy heart. You are growing into a very special person. Lena smiled, feeling warmth and joy in her chest. She hugged her mother again, realizing how lucky she was to have guidance, love, and support. She felt that with courage and love, she could handle anything that came her way. Over the next weeks, Lena continued to grow stronger. She faced new challenges at school, including tests, projects, and playground games. Every time she felt nervous, she remembered the strong tree, the words her mother had taught her, and the importance of staying calm. She discovered that courage could help her in many areas of life, not just on the playground. Mariah continued to support Lena, practicing courage exercises, calm breathing, and kind actions. They drew, played, and talked together, creating a strong bond of love and trust. Lena knew that her mother's guidance would always be a source of strength and comfort. One day, Lena's teacher praised her in front of the class. "Lena, you have been very brave and kind this week. You helped others, used your words, and showed confidence. We are proud of you." Lena felt her face glow with happiness. She realized that courage and kindness were noticed and appreciated by others. She smiled, remembering her mother's words. Bravery is not about fighting or being mean. It is about trusting yourself, using your words, staying calm, and helping others. That evening, Lena and Mariah sat together, reflecting on the past weeks. "Mama, I feel like I can face anything now," Lena said softly. "I am brave, strong, and I can help others too." Mariah smiled, brushing her daughter's hair gently. "Yes, baby. You have learned an important lesson. Life will sometimes bring challenges, but you have the courage, love, and tools to handle them. You are never alone, Lena, and every day you grow stronger." Lena hugged her mother tightly. "Thank you, Mama. I am so happy to have you." Mariah kissed her forehead. "I am happy too, baby, and I am proud of you every single day. Remember, your courage, kindness, and love will guide you through life. You are already very strong, and you will grow even stronger with every challenge you face." As Lena drifted off to sleep that night, she thought about her journey. She remembered the fear she had felt on the playground, the tears and the nervous flutter in her chest. She remembered how her mother had guided her, taught her words, and shown her how to stay calm and brave. And she remembered the joy she felt when she helped others and faced challenges with confidence. Lena realized that bravery was not something she would ever lose. It had become a part of her, growing inside her like a warm light. And with her mother's love always near, Lena knew she could face anything with courage, kindness, and a happy heart. The world was full of adventures and surprises, but Lena was ready. She felt strong, brave, and loved, and she knew that every day, with practice, love, and courage, she could continue to grow into the confident, kind, and happy girl she had always hoped to be.